Stocks couldn't figure out if they wanted to go up or down. The Dow and the S&P 500 finished the day higher, a relief for investors who were searching for answers after yesterday's big sell-off. Trade pushed stocks lower and then higher. As money rushed into the bond market, yields fell and stocks followed. And at one point, the yield on the 10-year Treasury dipped below 1.5%. That's the first time that has happened since 2016. The yield on the 30-year hit a record low, but again, that didn't last. Yields rose in an unusually sharp way, and stocks swung with them. Dizzy yet? Well, here's where the major averages closed on the trading day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose just about 100 points. The Nasdaq fell 7, and the S&P 500 added 7. Bob Pisani takes a closer look at this strange day.
Stocks went for another wild ride on this Thursday, where the Dow swinging between gains and losses all day. We saw whipsaw action first on a number of back-and-forth U.S.-China trade headlines, and then as bond yields fell further to multi-year lows. A member of the European Central Bank said the ECB was setting the stage for an aggressive rate cut in September. And Mexico's central bank announced it was cutting interest rates by a quarter point as well. This is just the latest in a string of more than 30 central bank rate cuts this year alone. Stocks are clearly continuing to take their cues from the bond market, falling to session lows as soon as the yield on the 10-year U.S. Treasury note dipped below 1.5%, but it bounced back as the yields came off of their lows. One clear bright spot today was the consumer. Walmart stock rallied on a solid earnings beat. Retail sales rose more than expected in July. Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba, they got a big boost from a huge earnings beat of its own. And another sign the consumer economy is clearly doing better than the industrial economy, even over in China. Still, there's no shortage of confusion in the markets, and there's little wonder why. There's an awful lot of models that can't figure out what's going on. A number of key questions can't be answered right now. For example, will China send troops into Hong Kong to quell the protests or not? Will there be real progress on trade talks or not? Will the Fed aggressively cut rates or not? And most importantly, will the global economy be more or less stable by the end of the year or not? That's an awful lot to try to figure out. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Bob Pisani at the New York Stock Exchange.